Good morning. This is the talk for October the 3rd, 2021, for the Center for Spiritual Living Tri-Cities, entitled Visualization, a Key to Building Expectancy. Let's begin now by closing our eyes, taking a deep breath, and visualizing, knowing the truth together. The truth is that in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I know there is one transcendent truth, one limitless and benevolent power, one infinite intelligence that creates and sustains life. This creative process is forever going on. I know that this one intelligence is the truth of who and what I am, who and what we all are, for it is the very vivifying and sustaining force we call life. I know that the more I choose to see this life as good, as everywhere present, as always seeking to express more life-givingness, the more I can see it, appreciate it, bask in it, and also work toward the same ends. I know that the more I heal my own thinking, the more I heal my life. The more I heal my life, the more I am able to become part of the healing energy and force that is healing the planet. I embrace myself fully. I embrace all expressions of life with love. And I embrace this one transcendent life as the one transcendent truth. I entrust myself to the process with a glad and grateful heart, and so it is. We've been talking these past few weeks about core spiritual practices in New Thought. We began by considering meditation and relaxation, and we looked at how these prime our mental atmosphere for positive new ways of thinking and feeling that make all the difference. Then, we considered affirmation and contemplation, and we talked about how these are the new thoughts that we plant in the primed soil of our mental atmosphere and nurture so that they can become true for us. Affirmation is the use of words and phrases that help us to choose anew, to begin new patterns of thinking and feeling, of speaking and acting. This helped change consciousness. Contemplation is our ability to consider and focus deeply upon a concept, whether something we've heard or even something that's come to us as an aha from our own cognition, our own thinking. Contemplation also helps us change consciousness. So, where does this concept of visualization fit into this chest of spiritual tools that we've been equipping over the past few weeks? Ernest Holmes tells us that the art of mentally projecting a thought form into universal creative medium is visualization. He says, visualizing means mentally seeing the things that you wish to have or to do. When you mentally see the things you desire and see them clearly, you are presenting universal mind with images of thought. And, like the creative soil of the ground, it at once tends to project them into form. If the thought image is clear, it provides a good mold. If it is imperfect, the mold is a poor one. This does not mean one must set his thoughts or hold his thoughts. It simply means that he must think clearly. Ernest Holmes also tells us, quote, visualize it just as you wish it to be, making the picture as clear as possible. For it is a lack of clearness of thought that hinders demonstration. Then sit there for about 10 minutes saying, it is, it is, it is. So here we see that, like affirmation, visualization helps us to clarify in mind what it is that we desire. It also helps us to galvanize our belief, our ability to see and to feel that what we desire is an accomplished fact. And the truth is that it is. Recall from last week, we talked about how, if there is only one infinite power and one divine mind, then our heart's desire exists in the same expanse of the same divine mind in which we move and live ourselves. And as Judge Thomas Troward reminds us in his treatise on mental science, the infinite power that creates and sustains all of life is everywhere present in its entirety, without limitation of time and space. If this is true, it follows that our heart's desire is right where we are on a metaphysical level. In other words, there is no separation between ourselves and the state in which we wish to find ourselves. It is our expectancy, our faith, that is the bridge that moves us toward our heart's desire and moves our heart's desire toward us on the chessboard of life. Life is ever listening and responding to our thinking, feeling patterns. When we take time to visualize, to turn something over and over in our minds, to dare to believe in it with such certainty that we are no longer hoping or wishing, but truly expecting that it is how it is, that this is how it is, this is how it goes. Then we have fortified the bridge of active faith. Expectancy means that we know that there is a method and a law, and we anticipate its coming to fruition. It is neither hoping nor wishing, nor wanting. It is a certainty so great that we know our heart's desire is a foregone conclusion. And we know that this can be applied for ourselves and for others. When we hold someone in consciousness and we know the highest and best for them, we visualize them as perfect, whole, and complete. When we hold ourselves in this way, we practice knowing the truth of who and what we are. Take time each day to work in the silence, to allow yourself to visualize, and not only with your visual senses, but with your other senses as well. Feel in your body the truth of what it is that you are affirming. Hear it. See it. This turning things over and over in our minds helps us to affirm into our consciousness and provides the mold and also the sum of the emotional intensity, the certain faith and expectancy that power our affirmations up and allow the one power to begin bringing it about as the truth for us. Remember, the truth is that you and I are in the midst of one all-embracing, all-knowing, all-loving power and presence. It is also the fiber of our being. In this sense, we are already one with this power, and also with our heart's desire. Visualization helps us to calm ourselves and allow ourselves to bask in this knowledge in a way that helps us change consciousness. Dr. Ernest Holmes suggests 10 minutes a day. That is a great goal for each day. Let's bask in positive expectancy for 10 minutes daily. That's the challenge this week. I know that you can do it. I can do it. We can all do it. So how does expectancy and visualization, how do these fit into this tool chest? You might take a few moments to clear your mind each time that you practice in this way. You might choose to focus on your breathing, to calm any anxieties that you have, to really bring focus back, to meditate for a few moments, and then move on to affirmations. One of the things that I think can be a challenge with affirmations is sometimes we have a great number of things that we'd like to focus on. And I think that sometimes it's helpful for us to pare things back, to choose just a few things that we're working on, and to know that just like a ball of twine, just like a ball of string, that these are all connected to one another, and we're really untangling the knots. And once we do that, it's very easy for one good thing to feed into another. So if we start small in terms of really focusing on and really taking the time to notice and be aware of our feelings and really focus on the things that might seem small, but will really make all the difference. In other words, our mental relationship with ourselves, the way that we respond or react to things that are going on, the things that we tell ourselves as a knee-jerk response to things. If we choose to work on these things and we choose to affirm for ourselves new positive ways of thinking and feeling and responding, these make all the difference. And they really turn out to not be such small things. They really end up reminding us that how we do anything is how we end up doing everything. And these small moments are really what create the atmosphere of our thinking and also really create the context of our lives. Then visualization. So again, we go from that relaxation and meditation, centering, right? Really reflecting on who and what it is that we are. And then we move into affirmation, right? Affirming for ourselves the things that we know are true, the things that we want to know more clearly are true. And we can also add to this that visualization, really visioning, right? Really holding that image of what it is, feeling it, sensing it, right? With all of our senses, not necessarily just our visual sense, but really using the imagination to vivify, to give life to these truths, right? So in concert with or connected with our affirmations, really focusing on the emotional side of things, right? The affirmations are the mold, the affirmations are the thoughts, and that expectancy that we can get built up through visualization, through really feeling what it is for those things to be true in our mind's eye. That intensity of faith, that intensity of belief, that intensity of expectancy is what powers up our affirmations and allows the infinite one power to begin bringing it about as truth. So this week, really focusing on using all of these tools. They don't necessarily have to be in the order that I talked about, but certainly thinking about how can I build each of these into a spiritual practice that I really do something every day. Perhaps when you get up, perhaps when you go to sleep, perhaps setting a timer and making sure that you're doing it throughout the day. Doesn't mean that you're always going to be able to spend 20 minutes at a time, but even just a few moments throughout the day can be really helpful in keeping you grounded, keeping you focused on what it is that you know is the ultimate truth. And that truth is that life loves you. And so it is.